Hello and welcome. Today I am doing another ink sample review. This is called Frosted Orchid by Diamine, and I don't know anything about this ink, so we're going to quickly do a swatch here and see how this looks. Okay. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Okay, so this is like a really pretty, maybe like a mauve-y purple or something, or like a dusty purple. Let me get these scribbled on here real quick. There we go. All right, let me clean that off. And then we will try some writing samples as well. We got to write the name on there. Frosted Orchid. And this is Diamine. All right, I'm going to set this aside to dry. It should just take a little bit. I'll put this here before I drop it. All right, and we're going to test this out on different papers. So I've got some copy paper here because, as you know, not everybody has the nice fountain pen papers to use. And you might want to know how an ink performs on this cheaper paper before you buy the ink. So that's why I do this, and this is why I test it on different papers, because you know, you never know what someone has to work with. So anyway, also if you're going to take something to work, you might not have fancy papers there. Okay, and this is copy paper. Yep. There we go. We'll draw some lines. So far, let's see here. All right, so far, oh, it looks like there might be some shimmer in this. I did not realize that. Okay, so that means I'm going to have to shake this up in between uses. That's really pretty. Okay, I was not expecting that. All right, so we'll give that a minute to dry. This is HP 32. This is another, what did I do with the lid? Yeah, there it is. Excuse me. HP 32 is another type of copy paper, but it's smoother, and so the ink performs differently. And I'll show you. If you watch any of my other videos, especially the ones with shading inks, the HP 32 typically performs very, very well for just being copy paper, and it's a good alternative if you don't want to pay the extra money for Tomo River, but you want to see the shading in your inks. Oops. If I could write here. And this is HP 32. That's right. Okay. But anyway, so this is a shimmer ink apparently. And shimmers tend to show up really well on everything. I haven't really had any issues with that. So that is one really good positive thing I can say about shimmer inks, is that they tend to just work well on all paper types of the ones that I've tested so far. However, not all pens will accept shimmer inks because it tends to clog the feed. So you have to be careful which pens you use with shimmer ink. So it's kind of a shame, because I feel like shimmer inks are so forgiving. They work on all the papers, but then you know, the pens don't typically like them. Some of them don't like them. And also you don't always see much of the shimmer unless you use a broader nibbed pen, just depending on the pen, of course. But that's just been my experience. This is really, really pretty on this HP 32. It's not fully dry yet, but it's got a beautiful, like, silvery frost look to it. I might have to get a bigger bottle of that one. That one's really pretty. Okay. I'm going to shake this up one more time here. This is the Tomo River paper. All right. And I'm just gonna, whoops, I picked up way too much ink. All right, so I picked up too much ink, but that's okay. So I don't see any, you know, feathering or any problems like that with this ink, which is also good. Makes it even better for other papers. Oops, sorry. I feel like I'm writing really roughly. Okay, and it's not intentional. And I apologize as well. I'm getting over a cold, so if I sound kind of funny, that's why. Let's see here. Drawn some lines. Okay, this is obviously going to take a little bit of extra time to dry because of that splotch I made. So I think what I'll do is I will give this some extra time to dry, and I'll be back once it's finished. But yeah, so far, other than that extra ink, this is looking pretty good. So I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and here is how the Tomoe River looks now that the ink is dry. So it's very, very pretty, very shimmery, and there is a lot of shading. So right around here, you can see like the outline. You can see it a little bit in the writing. The shimmers kind of cover up the shading a little bit. So if you're using like maybe like a finer, like a medium or fine nib, probably the shading won't be as obvious is my guess, just by how the writing samples look. But yeah, there definitely is some really nice shading in there, and I guess depending on the combination of paper and pen that you use, you might actually be able to see it through the shimmering. And like on this HP 32, again, it's very, very pretty. You can see the shading here. It's not as dramatic as on the Tomoe River, but that's fine. It's still very pretty. And the shimmers, of course, are great. And on the copy paper, you actually can see the shimmer. So, you know, it's still a really pretty color. It's different, though. You can see this looks like a more of a brighter plum, and this is a little bit darker, a little more moody looking, just because of the type of paper it is, which I thought was really, really pretty, the variation in color that it has. And then this is the swatch, and look how nice that came out. This is a really pretty, again, I'm not really sure how to describe that purple color, but it's very, very pretty. It does look to be like some kind of I don't know, like a plummy purple or something, but this is beautiful. And then it's got like a cool tone shimmer, which is really, really nice. Usually people pair purples with gold shimmer, and that's like literally every purple shimmery ink ever has gold shimmer. This one's got a silver shimmer, which is different, and I think it looks really nice. So I like this ink a lot, actually. So I hope you enjoyed that. If it was helpful, if there's any other inks you want to see, leave a comment down below, let me know. And if you'd like to see more, like and subscribe, and you'll see more. And thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.